Hey guys, I'm here to get into Kill Bills Volume 1 and 2, which were released in the year 2003 and 2004, both directed by Quentin Tarantino. And, over the years, these have increasingly grown on me as just some of the greatest projects ever made. And I mean, he's just really struck a really personal level on my latest viewings that I had a few months ago. The first film really just struck on a level that just made me think a lot about just the ultimate expression of balance and style and stuff. It's a stylized depiction ultimately, but it has extreme substance and like character development and the way the action is paced out and the dialogue is depicted. I mean, it turned out to just be one of the greatest action films ever made, really, and it just has a completely rich story that's just full of layers the entire way through. Just perfect characterization, like absolutely, and I think it just is really just grown to me completely. Extended cinematography and just incredible soundtrack around it. I mean, Tarantino is just really has his lively energy in full force here that I think he's always had all along. And I think in age, it's just, man, this is really acquired big time in my perspective. Again, just this unique sort of, like, just again, action kind of outlook on everything. And I just have all this, like, love for nostalgia for, like, remember hearing when I was 10 years old, never watching it, but I always remember seeing the previews for it. I just remember hearing, like, whoa, this movie's crazy. So, I grew up and I always thought it was like, okay, pretty good. But, growing up, I never thought it was stacked up to his 90s perspectives, but now I have to say it really does, because this is just really out there, even for all this violence that it portrays. It's really an out there kind of product. And Uma Thurman just plays this to mastery. I mean, this is just great scene. A lot of like dark comedy looming all throughout the screenplay. Like, I've always often feels hilarious. As it's just the choreography. It's choreographed in just at very original levels of just, I don't know, just perfect, really, all throughout. And I just really love this attention to detail that this film portrays. It's just perfect on a unique sort of level. So I mean, it just has a perfect balance and a perfect way of influence Tarantino kind of where it's the completely original places. That's what he does so masterfully. Like he's an incredible film geek who just really does kind of wear his own influences on a completely original plane. That's what Tarantino was kind of out to do with this project ultimately. Because it's like Tarantino had laid low for like a good 6 years after Jackie Brown and just consumed a lot of movies and some private equipment. Paying a lot. Paul Thomas, B.T. Anderson sounds like, but yeah, here it just seems like he just kind of just got back to this really original kind of more of because in the 2000s obviously he's way more of an action kind of director than he was in the 90s. He was a lot more slow paced overall, more dialogue than everything in motion, but. I would say that in the 2000s, it's just he was really on the action territory completely. We got gradually more to the historical perspectives as well, but this is just a mind-boggling action perspective from start to finish. Really, I mean, everything about this is just holds up. It's just really incredibly rewatchable. I mean, it's just really an over the top expression, but it's an incredible revenge story. That just turns out to be incredibly introspective all throughout. It's like Tarantino always has an introspective perspective on action. And I think that's just one of those resonating guys ever to depict this genre with this particular project. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. And then, Kill Bill Volume 2. And I'll say, like, this one has the more mystique on me now. So I'll say this is my favorite of the two. I love the first one dearly for everything it's doing in the revenge tale. I think this is like more of a Western perspective, which is just like, the way this Tarantino speaks to Western genre just might resonate a little more personally. Because you get just an insane amount of the backstory in the first one, but it's like how a lot of the genius sequels were happening. Like Spider-Man 2 is 2004 also. This is like another genius sequel by Quentin Tarantino that, it's the only time he ever did a sequel, really. I mean, it's just a really satisfying revenge story. Just simply taps into some of those horrifying scenarios I've ever seen. Like, I've actually had moments where I was just feeling deeply claustrophobic just by feeling this film out, because it just feels very unsettling. Just so how some of these scenarios like unfold. It just really feels like something horrible is just something's fading out, and it's horrible to see it go through. It feels like a lot more hellish perspective is living in this project. To me, anyway, the atmosphere just feels like, wow, this is like. A lot of horrifying imagery, emotion, like a lot of Sergio Leone influence, particularly is happening here. Like it very kind of just like it's maybe one of the closest he's been to depicting something of the good, the bad, the ugly sort of depiction. I mean, Django and Chainsaw, they're playing all together of the westerns, but in the Hateful Eight as well. But this, on the other hand, it's just very much like that kind of sort of Leone epic kind of perspective. But and just like it's one of those films too, where it's just like almost just perfectly builds on the foundation of the first film to an extent that. I just need to say that I've just been watching this. I don't even want to because I just want to take it in the story of this one so too much. It's almost like this is a different plane of like I don't want to recite it. I want to feel this film more before I recite it because it's just a lot what it's really doing. The mechanics of this project just really has caught up to me in passing time. So that's the Kill Bill series. This is a masterpiece in Tarantino's perfect filmography. So yeah, this is a perfect one to check. This entire series is absolutely perfect and timeless to check out always.